Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm gonna start a new series, rebuilding the truck. Well, almost rebuilding it. I'm actually going to a twin turbo setup. I had a single on it before, but you know how it is. You always want more power. Anyway, I'm gonna go over a little bit on this truck so you guys can see a little bit what we got going on here. I did have that GT45R turbo on there, the same one my brother's running on his Nova. It is a 76 with a 77 exhaust, but I'm going to be switching to a couple of twin turbos, and which I will show off here in a little bit. But for now, let's look over the truck a little bit and give you guys an idea what we're working with. So this is my baby right here. A lot of you guys have seen it, seen pictures of it. It is a 1991 GMC Sierra. It's got, let's see here, 67,000 original miles. And I bought the truck with 57,000 miles on it. All the gauges work. I did add that speedometer, or sorry, RPM gauge. Interior is pretty much mostly stock seats, headliner, which is coming loose, common Chevy problem. I did add some switches. This is what I was using for my launch control. Actually, what this button was doing, whenever I'd push it, it would drop the boost level in order to launch it. Transmission fan switch right there, and then a high boost switch, the go-go juice button. And right there is my air fuel gauge, my boost gauge, and this was my transmission temperature gauge, which was a bright green LED. Sorry for the background noise, there's a truck driving by. But I ended up taking it out, or actually putting that sticker on it, so that it wouldn't blinding me at night. Excuse the messy shop, we got a lot of cleaning to do, honestly. But so this is the underhood. It's been sitting for about a month, so we got a good amount of dust on it. Right now we got just some stock manifolds on it because I sold the single turbo kit, and I haven't been driving it because I don't have the oxygen sensors or wideband or anything on it, so I'm just guessing on air fuel ratio. So I figured I'd just throw those on there to move the truck around. But that's where we are right now. So this is an iron block LQ4 out of a 2008 3/4 ton truck. It has 317 heads on it and a 24X reluctor installed, so it works with this older P01 ECM. I've got a stock Silverado 2002 harness on it with a stock Silverado 2002 fuse box. So I just mounted it on the fender well, and it looks pretty factory. But we got quite a few upgrades coming, and I'll share those with you later whenever I go to showing you the turbos and everything. That was my boost switch for the high boost controller. It's all a little messy right now since stuff is partially taken apart, but yeah, figured I'll keep you guys updated. First mod I'm going to be doing is the Pro Yank 3400 converter. Right, I mean, that's the one I have. I'm going to a 3600 converter because I have a pretty strong feeling the new twins are going to take a little more RPM to build boost. But we'll go ahead and get started on doing the converter swap. Also guys, I forgot to mention the rest of the setup on the engine. It has a 220, 224 on a 112 cam in it. It's custom spec by Jarrett with JFR. And BTR dual 660 springs with titanium retainers. LS9 head gaskets, ARP studs, And the injectors are 127-pound FIC injectors. The fuel system consists of a 450 in the tank with a 255 inline as a secondary pump on a Hobbs switch that comes on at 5 pounds of boost. And the transmission is a 4L80E built by Hans Friesen. It's basically a stock rebuild with a dual feed mod done internally on the transmission, not through the valve body. And some other upgrades, his own shift kit style, and it works great. I've made hundreds of passes at over 700 horsepower and the thing still shifts like a champ, so I'm really happy with the transmission. Like I said earlier, it has a Pro Yank 3400 converter in it, a single disc lockup, and my new one is also going to be a single disc lockup. It's got a deep pan, aluminum pan in it, in the transmission for a little extra capacity and cooling. And I also have a stock 8.5-inch rear axle, which you can see here. I have a perfect launch rear cover on it, some Calvert Racing 9-way adjustable shocks, and slapper bars, as you can tell on the suspension here. Pretty simple actually setup. It does have a Yukon Duragrip posi in it and 373 gears, and that's pretty much it. The springs are 4-inch drop leaf springs with 2-inch drop shackles. That's how the suspension is sitting right now, which it is a little bit low. If you look at it, don't have much fender gap with the 28-inch tire, and actually have more fender gap up front. Also guys, I figured I'd share my other project that I started that I'm still not entirely sure what I want to do with, but this is a 1975 C10. It's got a gutted out interior. Well, I mean, it's got a door panel, I guess, so it's not completely gutted out. But a sheet metal dash, all custom gauges, switches, and the guy even installed a stereo. Ratchet shifter, B&M, and racing seats. So the center console is made out of wood, not my style. That's how I bought it. Pretty sure I would take that out, obviously make a nice little pedestal for the shifter. But this truck is already LS swapped. I was going through removing the harness because I was going to redo it, put a new harness on here. Has a 5.3 liter stock with a 4L60E in it. And as you can tell, the wiring is a mess right now, and it was a mess to start with. A lot of chopped wires and stuff. I didn't know what was all done to the harness, so I figured I'd just pull it off and make a new one. But give me some ideas down in the comments if you guys have some ideas what I need to do with it. I did originally want to twin turbo this thing and build it into a full-on race truck with roll cage and everything, but it needs quite a bit of work. And by quite a bit, I mean a lot of work. Just a lot of stuff is really worn out on this thing. It does have some rust. It's not terrible on this side, but the other side has got actually some holes rusted through it on the cab, so that's a big turnoff for me. But yeah, I don't know. Still undecided on this. I really thought about just selling it the way it is, maybe get it running, selling it. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Anyway, give me some ideas. All right, guys. So I just got all the bolts loose. I'm super excited. I got me a new gasket. Hopefully we can fix this transmission leak I've been dealing with. But anyway, I'm gonna be draining this oil out, and hopefully you guys will be able to watch with me at the same time to see what my oil looks like. I have not changed this oil since Hans built the transmission. It's still on the very first oil I put in there, I should say, sorry. Alright, so I'm going to try to set the camera down here. I don't have a camera holder or anything like that yet. So, bear with me, guys. Let's see what we find in this thing. Whoops. Forgot I still had one bolt. This is the worst extension ever. Over here holding it on. Should allow it to all tilt down. I don't want to, I know the oil pan's got a drain plug right here. And I wouldn't mind draining it out of there, but if the transmission has mud in it, I want to be able to see it. So we'll see how this goes. Man, it's too tight. Hopefully it's not too much stress for one bolt. Probably is. Training fluid still looks pretty red. I'm impressed. I think I'm going to zip those bolts off, pull the pan off. Yeah, that puppy's pretty heavy. Oh crap. Damn. There's a lot of wool in there. Well, I made a mess. Let me go wipe my hands off and I'll grab the camera and show you what I did. Yep, made a mess. Time for some oil dry. Kind of sucks. Well, I'm gonna pause the camera for a while and get this mess cleaned up. Alright guys, I know this is a super temporary fix because this looks terrible. But all I'm gonna do today is just drain the oil out of the transmission just to get an idea of whether or not I'm gonna have to take the thing apart. Oil looks pretty black at this angle right now, but actually as you can see on the edges in the aluminum, the oil is pretty red. I'm pretty happy with it. Granted, it's only 5,000 miles, but it's a hard 5,000 miles. All right, I'm gonna go set the camera up. See if we can get a shot of me pouring the oil out and making another mess. I'm pretty good at that. Still no camera holder. Using a 2x4 and a bucket. Actually, let me show you guys. Yeah, that's right. I just set it on there. Alrighty. Try not to pour out any mud that's there. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. Hands are dirty again. Give me a second. There's a little bit of mud, but seriously, for the amount of power I have sent through this thing, that is quite impressive. I'm enjoying that. It's my brother, by the way. For those of you that don't know me, I drive truck on a daily basis, so this is what I do for fun. But yeah, this is not bad at all. I thought that was a pile of mud, but it's just the oil separating from the pan. There's really a very small amount of mud in here. Some might say it's a lot, but from the transmissions I've dealt with, I am not complaining about this. This looks really good. There's definitely some metal on the magnet, but no chunks. It's all just fine. I thought that was a chunk. That's a piece of aluminum. No chunks on it at all. I say we're golden. I'm gonna slap in some new, there we go, got focus. Slap in some new oil and send it. Alright guys, just got done draining the oil out of my transmission. Time to head home. Figured I'd take this beast. Actually needs some tuning, and I do street tuning, so I'm gonna be driving this thing back. She's a pretty truck. Yeah, I stepped on a bolt. It's got a little go-go juice too. Figured I'd share. Pretty sweet little gauges in there. I think they are Intellitronics brand. Boost gauge. Wide band. And zero oil pressure. Now it's got the oil pressure gauge right there. It is running a 4L60E transmission, so as you can imagine, it's on borrowed time. It's a 6-liter with a decent sized cam in it. Got a lot of surging at idle, so I still need to do a lot of tuning in that zone. But it's a pretty sweet little truck. Alright guys, I figured I'd go over some of the parts that I got here for the truck. Got a stack of parts here. As you can see, Got some AEM air filters, the turbo, some header wrap, and that would be the turbo blankets. And got a whole box full of stuff right here. Got fittings for the oil return. Also doing a Holley Terminator X-Max in the truck. So this will be the firewall grommet to run the wiring harness through. Got some flex plate bolts. Those are from ICT Billet, by the way. Part number, I don't think it's on there, unless that's it, the 5.5. Camera will not focus. Here, hold on, let me do this number. There we go. Those are really nice piece. I prefer these over some other brands just because the bigger head design makes them a little easier to tighten. I think the ARPs do not have that flat washer design on the head, which I think is a must-have. So you got some more adapters here. This is for the oil drain. I'm thinking of going dual 3/4 inch into single 3/4 because I still have the single drain for the single turbo. Hoping it'll flow enough. I guess we'll see. If it doesn't, we'll get some oil in the turbo when we let off the throttle, so we'll know. There's some more wrap. This stuff I highly recommend. High temp silicone coating. Seals and protects exhaust wraps. This stuff is legit for painting your exhaust wrap after you wrap it on the truck or on the manifold. Got some Gen 4 knock sensors. Up until now I've not been running any. It's not a big deal with E85 in my opinion. Got the boot, go from the 3 to the 3 3/4 on the throttle body. Got another oil drain. O2 sensors, they were from the truck before. Another can of high temp silicone coating. Spark plugs, got plenty. TR6 for the win. Take them out. Got to take everything out. Some more wrap. I know I went overboard with the wrap. Some boots. My intercooler piping kit. I got a 2.5 inch kit over at my brother-in-law's house, and my brother has got the 3-inch pieces that I'm going to be needing. This right here are the wastegates. One of them, I guess the boxes are stacked in here. But essentially they are tile China copies. They look really good, real solid looking. I'm impressed. They were only $49 a piece. 98 bucks, bought me 2 of them. And they got all the necessary hardware. Clamps, springs, banjo fittings. I was really impressed with these. Get them out of here. It's a little bit hard to do all one-handed, but we'll get it done. That's the other one right there. And this is the blow-off valve. This is actually a VS Racing blow-off valve. Pull it out of the bag so you guys can see it a little better. vsracing.net. Really nice piece as well. I'm impressed with VS Racing stuff, for the money especially. I'll bag that up later, or probably won't. Not like it really matters. Just sitting in here anyway. Extra O-ring, nice. Well, actually that O-ring is probably for the, yeah, the fitting, or the V-band whenever you clamp it on. I believe that O-ring sits right in here in that groove. Anyway, some miscellaneous clamps. Actually, they're 3-inch clamps. Some metal zip ties for the wrap. And finally, the last piece, which I was really impressed with as well for the money. It is a Summit Racing brand SFI approved flex plate. It is quite a bit thicker than the stock one. I say quite a bit. I mean, it's not a lot thicker, but if you have a stock one, you set it next to this one, which I don't have one here right now. It is significantly thicker. And it is SFI spec 29.1. So figured it was time to get away from the stock one. I've been running a stock one till now, but probably a little bit risky at my power level. Anyways, you guys didn't think I'd not show you guys the turbo billet wheel. This is actually a VS Racing 6766 turbo, or it's 6667. I can't remember which way it goes, but look at that beauty right there. That is a nice piece. Nice billet wheel on it. Pretty excited about this. We'll see if my little 6-liter can spool this puppy or not, but we're sure gonna give it a try. Sorry about the rust. It's been sitting for a long time. I think these turbos were bought almost, probably 8-9 months ago. But I ain't too worried about it. A couple heat cycles, that rust will be gone. Thanks for watching, guys. These videos were all made on my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. So sorry if they're a little shaky, but it's got pretty good cameras, I gotta say. But I will keep you guys posted on all the upgrades coming. There's more coming. Actually, I think I did tell you guys everything. The Terminator, the 3600 Yank converter, and the twin turbo build. So you guys have seen everything. The only parts I'm still missing are the manifolds. So when they come in, I'll make sure to make a video on that and do some test fitting. So thanks again for watching. Have a good one.